are about 14 things on this engine bay I can try and hook myself up. About 300 things I can kick, about 200 things poking me. So, that's what we're going to be doing today. Polybush. That polybush. Right there. Should be very straightforward. Now, I say that, if this is in the vehicle has an engine and gearbox in it, it's not going to be this simple. Which isn't a problem for me, could be a problem for you. So, obviously everything's already out of this vehicle, which makes this very straightforward to that point. If it's in your vehicle, this will be on top of the subframe. There will be 4 bolts holding this rack to that subframe. 2 of them happen to go through this very mount that I am undoing. Now, the pair of steering lines on these Mark 1 Audi TTs are, in my opinion, somewhat of an afterthought on Audi's part. Because they had issues with it overheating, I think, mainly, but it's kind of funny really, because they engineered that and put extra pipes in. You get rubber mounted the ABS module, so you need flexi pipes on all your brake lines. Yeah. Now, you're going to have to undo this bottom pipe on the steering rack, because there's a pipe here that bolts that comes across the front, and there's a pipe on the back here. And this pipe is going to need to move off of this mount to put this polybush in. Which, like I say, means unbolting the bolt out the steering rack, unbolting the other pipe here, draining the fluid. Now, then that mount will pop off like that. And this rubber simply comes off like that. See, it looks very easy when you're here. Then we've got a new one. So let's get some stuff on a new one. There. Slippery now. And now we've got some silicone grease all over it. It is now just slippery enough to be awkward to hold on to. So that now wraps around our steering rack, right back where it was. There. We then have to take our mount that we just had on there, and we have to push it back on. Now we have to take this pipe, like I said, on the car. This is going to be awkward. Ironically, some of this may actually get deleted when it actually comes to me working out what I'm doing with the power steering lines, because I think we're going to put an extra cooler in. But if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. It's kind of that thing. Then we put those 2 nuts back on. Like I say, in the vehicle, looks very straightforward. Not quite sure how straightforward it's going to look. And there's some subframes in the way. But yes, we do need to make up some steering lines. For some reason they put a cooling line on the feed and the return, so they just made enough of a cooling line on the return. I think it would have been fine, but they only apparently overheat on like extreme track use. There we go. So that is that replaced. Now, like I say, on the car, obviously you're going to have to undo these 2 bolts and then slip this off. Now, once you've got those 2 bolts out, which come out the bottom of the subframe, and these 2 13s off, slacken that pipe off and undo this pipe, drain the fluid, and then just rotate that back. It will be the same, just will be slightly more awkward when it's in said vehicle and there's, like I say, a lot more in the engine bay. But there you go, basic idea of how it is and where it is and what you do with it.